What's up, everyone? We have a business breakthrough with my good friend Carlos. And one thing that stood out to me with this breakthrough was I think we can all relate to really just starting fresh. So he owned a painting business in California and went back home to Arkansas to help take care of his mother. And he's just having trouble getting going, getting some good people in his business. And, at some point, we've all been there and maybe are on our way to be there. Maybe we have to hit the reset button in our business. So, this breakthrough really could help you. So, tune in. I'm excited to share this one with you. It was a great business breakthrough session. The big question you need to ask yourself every day is, do I own a job or do I own a business? And unfortunately, the majority of contractors out there own a job. That's right, they're a slave to their own business. But the other side of the fence is so much greener, it's so much better, and that's when you're finally fully in control of your destiny, your freedom, your time. And that's what Contractor Secrets is about. It's about taking back our time, building a business with systems, standards, values, procedures, putting yourself in the driver's seat. And that's what it's about. So I'm excited. I'm happy to have you here. Let's dive into the Contractor Secrets podcast. All right. Welcome, everyone, to the Business Breakthrough. I'm here with Carlos. And after some technical difficulties, this is the third time I've introduced him, but you guys won't hear that or know that. But let me kind of recap what we've talked about. So Carlos is from California. He moved to Arkansas to help his mom. He's in a position where he literally had to pick up his business and start over. And I would say that the biggest hurdle you're dealing with right now is hiring, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, hiring. So I'm just gonna dive into it, bro. If I came to Arkansas right now and said, you need to hire someone today, tell me what you would do to do that right now without looking anything up. I know you've listened to some of the things that I've said, but really, honestly, what would you do right now to hire somebody?
What I should do, what I am doing, I guess you could say.
Honestly, like if I was there right now in your office, I said, all right, hire somebody. Take me through the process right now of what you would do. And don't be politically correct. Just tell me like what would that process
What
look
I've
like?
what I've started off doing was the Home Depot thing.
Okay.
Going in the morning in the Home Depot. To be honest, I don't have a strategy to
Sure.
hire solid people,
So
and that's my biggest downfall, I believe.
yeah, that's okay. So I'm gonna use this example. I always like use. Would you go to like a bar and go to a dance floor and look for a wife?
No.
That's what you're doing at Home Depot is you're looking for
Yeah.
somebody that you're hoping to develop a really strong relationship with. And ultimately you're just taking shots in the dark. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? And when
Yeah.
you put it like that, it's like, well, this isn't as serious as a wife, but in the same breath, it sure is. Because
Yeah.
ultimately, you're looking to build long-term relationships with people that can take care of your business for you.
Yeah.
So it's serious. And when you kind of do that shotgun approach, number one, there is a good reason why whoever's waiting in line at Home Depot for work is there. And I understand that there's a lot of people that may be immigrants or they don't speak English, and that's the only place that they can find work, and they're probably really good workers. But it's hard to build a business off of that.
Yeah.
And you being the type of business owner that I believe that you are, knowing the level of standard that I know that you have, that's not the approach that we need to take. So I'm going to go through my hiring process right now for you to help you identify what I do differently. I'll tell you that I have 9 employees. I'm never afraid when an employee leaves or I have to let someone go because I know that my process works. We briefly touched on this in one of our 3 takes, which
Yeah.
was I know that when I put something in, I get something out in return. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the same for me in sales. I'll give you an example of how that works. In sales, if I do 100 estimates, I'm going to get 40 jobs. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If I spend $1,000 on marketing, I'm going to get X amount of estimates.
Yeah.
If I hire the way that I hire, I know that I'm going to get great applicants. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the processes ultimately protect us because it gives us the ability to get what we need because we are true to the process. So the first step of our sales process is going to be putting out a really good ad, and that requires paying to get it out there. Okay.
Yeah.
Pay to play, man, because ultimately you're in competition with everybody. I mean, everyone's looking for good people, good applicants. So you need to be seen and you need to be shown to actual, people who are looking for a job.
Yeah.
So there's two places that I like: Craigslist and Indeed. Have you ever tried any of those before?
I've heard of Indeed, but I'd never tried it before.
So Indeed's actually becoming increasingly popular. And I'll be honest with you, in the beginning, I didn't really use Indeed to find painters. I actually used it to find a manager or a salesperson,
Yeah.
because I thought, I didn't really think painters would go on Indeed to look for jobs, but I did it. And I mean, I have so many applications from painters, that I'm going to be using them more often. And ultimately what it is a really professional marketplace for people looking for jobs. So what you put out is what you're going to attract. That's like one of my rules in hiring. If you put out an ad that says, "Hey, I'm Carlos. I'm looking for a painter with a driver's license and he must have painting experience." That's all you're going to get. You're going to get somebody with a driver's license and a pulse that can hold a paintbrush.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to identify what you're looking for. My opinion and what I'm learning about kind of your situation is that you have ran through a lot of guys with painting experience and a driver's license. And it's not
Yes.
helping you, right?
No, no, not at
Not at
all.
all. So what's been the biggest problem? Tell me.
Myself, honestly, is just
Well,
getting
not
over
about
the
hiring, not about you. I'm talking about the people that you've had in your business.
uh
What's been the biggest problem?
just not being, mostly just people lying about what they do. Really, like I get a lot
Character,
of
right?
that. Yeah, people saying like, "Oh, I'm like, do you paint? What do you do?" You're like, "Yeah, I do it all. I do this," and then it comes down to, I guess, jack of all trades,
Master of none.
master of exactly. So
Right. So that to me is a character issue. Number one is they lied to get the job. Number two, it's also your lack of, and I'm not downing you. I just want you to see this so you can know where your holes are. It's your inability to identify exactly what you're looking for. Okay,
yeah,
because when you just say you're looking for a painter, that's all you're going to get. But right now, in order to build a business, you need a manager. You need somebody that can work side by side with you in the beginning, and ultimately
yeah,
somebody that you can pass the keys to and say, "Hey, you watch the job. I'm going to go look for more work for us. I'm going to go hunt while you
yeah.
maintain the village." You
And that
know?
was initially my brother's role was going to be that, but I unfortunately sometimes family doesn't always work out the way you want it to.
Right.
So I
Right. That
kind of
was
had
your
to
brother,
let
right?
him. Yeah, and I had to let him go recently too because of just kind of attitude
Tough decision.
problems and
Yeah, but it's actually better for you. And unfortunately,
yeah,
I went through this, so I can speak to that. I went through this with my father, which was way
yeah,
harder.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And I had to do it for it was either that or the ship sinks, and now I'm screwed.
exactly.
So ultimately, you need to be looking for somebody that you can work side by side with that is good with customers and people. Because that's why you're a business owner, is because you and I both know that your greatest skill is to be able to work with homeowners,
Yeah, definitely.
to understand the ebbs and flow of their moods, what's important to them, what needs to be done at what time. Oh, you need the master bedroom done so you can have a place to, like, that level of
Thought process, I
understanding.
guess. Yeah,
Right. It's the finesse. Okay. You need somebody that has that level or close to of finesse, because if you don't, you're going to be stuck inside the house every day.
and that's what's happening right now, pretty
That's what's
much.
happening. Right. So
Yeah,
when you wake up in the morning, you put painter's pants on. Okay. And that doesn't bring in more business. And it's a perpetuating cycle. It's like a toilet bowl. All right.
yeah,
The other side of the fence is you build a team. Now, I want to give you an example of what this reality would look like. Okay. Let's say you gave me $35,000. All right.
okay,
And I allowed you to franchise my company, Premium Painting. Okay. And I said, "All right, man, this is the way that we do it. You have 2 weeks to find a project manager. Okay. You need to have somebody with a driver's license, yes. With painting experience, yes. Okay. And you're going to put them through a 7-step hiring process. And I want you to pay them between $18 and $21 an hour.
Okay.
Okay. That's how much you pay them. Okay. Their main responsibility is to work side by side with you, okay, for the first 2 weeks. And you teach them exactly what you need to teach them to make sure they can run a job on their own. Okay.
Okay.
So for the first step in the hiring process, we're going to put out this ad. Okay. We're going to put out this ad on Indeed that says we're looking for a project manager. Okay. Here's the pay.
Yeah.
This is what we're looking for. We're not looking for a painter. We're looking for a project manager, somebody that knows that they're a manager. Someone doesn't need to be trained to be a manager. You know what's going to allow you to do this? Money.
Yeah.
Okay. You got to be willing to pay for people. You're buying your time. It's a great bargain. Instead of instead of trading your time for money, it's a great bargain to buy your time with money. Time cannot be replaced. You have kids?
No, not yet.
Not yet? Okay. Well, when you do,
you're really
gonna want to line up to be able to be with them instead of, covered in paint every day when you come home.
Okay? Yeah, that's what happened to my dad. That's pretty much one of the big things that I noticed, growing up is my dad was always coming home late, tired, full of paint and stuff, and not wanting to really do much. And I see why. I look back at it, I'm like, oh, I see why you were so tired now.
So tired. He's doing everything. So we're at a point now, okay, where I'm giving you this formula because you're a franchisee of mine. You have to follow it. You don't have a choice, or you will no longer be a franchisee. Do you understand?
Yes.
So the second step, okay, is once you put out this ad, you're going to filter all your applicants into one easy place for you to sift through the applications. I do it on a Google form. That's the easiest one. And essentially what you're doing is you're creating a bunch of questions for people to answer. So inside of the ad, you put a link to that form and they go in and they fill out the form. So now you have an easy to read place of all the people that apply. So essentially what we're doing is we're creating a funnel. When you put oil into your car, it funnels the oil down, right? Well, what we're doing is we're doing the same thing. We're just funneling all the applicants into one easy place so we can read and look and see. Okay. So once we have that information, what we can then do, we could do a social media check. Okay. This is when you look at an application like, man, this guy sounds good. Let me look and see how they act on social media. It's public information. I don't care what anyone says. They put it out to the world. It's public. You can look at it and you can make your own assessment of whether or not you want that person to be a part of your business. If you can find them on social media. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's step 3. Step 4 would be a phone interview. All right. So you need to call the 2 or 3 people that you like best. Okay. And you need to say, hey, you would email them and you would set up a phone interview. But then, of course, when that phone interview occurs, that's when you would ask questions that you would obviously write down ahead of time. Don't just call, not know what to say. You want to come up with questions that really get to know them, get a feel for their personality, give them a brief outline of who you are. For all they know, you're this successful contractor out of California, right? And you're starting up a brand new company in Arkansas. They don't need to know your story. They just need to know that they're going to get paid every week.
Yeah.
Okay. That you're starting a brand new company in Arkansas. Okay. And you're looking for a project manager. All right. Ask about their experience. If you like how the conversation goes, guess what? Then you do an in-person interview. That in-person interview is going to tell you everything you need to know to make a good decision on whether or not you want to bring someone on board.
Yeah.
So right then and there, you've given yourself a lot of checks and balances to make a really good hiring decision. Now, from there, you would do a working interview to see if they talk the talk. Like you said, one of the issues is that people don't talk the talk, right? And ultimately, I don't ever let that happen because I learned my lesson from that too. I say, okay, well, your employment is not guaranteed. You get 1 week to work with our crew to see if you're a good fit. I had a guy that made it all the way through 2 weeks ago and did the working interview. We let him go 3 days in because he didn't keep the standard.
Yeah.
Okay. So that working interview was my insurance policy. Does that
Now,
make
do you
sense?
tell them, are you paying them the same amount for that
No,
first week?
they're not an employee. They get $10 an hour. I'm
There
not,
you go.
ultimately, this isn't a free ride for the first week,
Yeah.
So $10 an hour. I mean, it's a trial run. Guess how good they're going to work that week. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that makes
That's
sense.
how you get the best out of somebody, right? But guess what it does to the project manager? It says, wow, this guy has a system. This
Yeah,
guy's serious. Raises the standard as opposed to, oh, this guy just, told me to meet him at a job site and we're working on a job. There's nothing there.
yeah, no
There's no
substance.
motivate. Like there's nothing there. So you want to
Yeah,
create this, you got to create this structured foundation that when an employee works for you, they think stability, they think long term, they think I'm home. Not,
yeah,
okay, I don't know how long this is going to last. This guy doesn't know what he's doing. I should start looking for a place that offers me more stability and security.
yeah,
You need to offer security and stability more than ever now because of COVID. They need to know that they got a guy that is going to make sure they're good. That is your number one job. Is you need to make sure that people have work. That's
yeah,
it. Your number one job is not painting. It's not. It's never going to be. It's
yeah,
you got to go out and hunt like we used to do back in the prehistoric days. You got to go hunt, bring the kill back to the village.
yeah,
That's your job. And it's never going to change. And if no one's out hunting, the village starves.
yeah,
I mean, that's it. So that's the premise of where we're at in terms of that. So that franchise mentality should help you see, okay, this is the direction I need to go. Now, the next step as me being your franchisor is saying, all right, Carlos, next step, you need to find a very low level painter. It's not somebody that has excellent skill, somebody that's painted before and has a good personality.
yeah,
That can work side by side with your new project manager. And in the meantime, yes, you are working a little bit and going and doing estimates. You're working a little bit and going and doing estimates. You're working a little bit, going and doing estimates, setting up the jobs. You're literally filling a spot until you get somebody to fill you. Your goal in the beginning should find a team of 3. You just need 3 people.
yeah. That's the best that I've noticed.
Okay? I do 4. I like 4. But you need 3 people. Okay? That
Yeah.
you can.
So is the project manager painting as well, or are you just overseeing everybody?
Absolutely. Oh yeah, he better know how to spray. He better know how to paint, and he better know how to talk to people. That's what you're looking for. Okay? Now, don't get me wrong. If you find somebody that doesn't know these things, but you could tell they're a good person and you could teach them and you only give them jobs that you feel confident they would be able to run and do well, that limits you. Don't take a commercial building repaint on the guy. You should be looking for easy jobs that you know that your guy can succeed at.
Kind of build up his confidence a little bit too.
Right. In the beginning, I had a guy that I knew wasn't the best sprayer. So what I did, I sprayed. Okay. I would get up and spray the soffits first thing in the morning because I didn't want him to get overspray on the roof.
Yeah.
Okay.
Smart. Yeah.
I had to be there. Once the soffits were done, I'm out. I went and marked. I went and did estimates. So in the beginning, I knew that was a weak spot in my business because I cleaned way too many roofs. I bought way too much spray paint to spray paint the roof so you couldn't see the white overspray. Right?
Yeah.
So I had to do what I had to do to fill that spot. I was a spot filler, so I knew that I needed to find somebody with spray experience. That doesn't mean that the spray experience guy became the project manager. That didn't happen. I liked my project manager because he was good with people. I could trust him, and he did what he needed to do, and he oversaw. Skill does not determine stature in the eyes of a uneducated business owner on leadership. It doesn't. What determines stature is trust. That's it.
Definitely.
You can trust somebody to do exactly what you say. That person's going to go to the top in your business. So that's what you're looking for in the project manager, somebody you could trust.
Definitely.
Right.
Thank you.
So where are you at now? How many jobs do you have in the pipeline?
Right now, I just sold the house. I'm doing interior and cabinets, and right now I'm doing a well, before I start that, right now I'm doing a full repaint of a house. They're doing a remod,
Okay.
so it's kind of been a little tricky having to go around the other tradesmen, and I really dropped the ball on this one.
You know what
But
I don't like when we take random jobs, but I
yeah,
assume that you had to.
well, no, this wasn't like so much a random job as in the sense of it's a full repaint. What I'm trying to do now is kind of what you're saying is a full repaint, full house. So
Right.
that's what the house is. But where I messed up is that I should have had just told him, okay, let the tradesmen finish all their trades and then
Yeah.
I can go in there. But he was
So
moving
now you're
inside.
working around people.
Yeah, and I had to be up at ungodly hours and just do a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't necessarily want to do. And I'm trying to be, helpful to the guy. But at the end, I kind of feel like he kind of led me on to, do what he wanted me to do. And I took the bait, I guess you could say. And it's been a long month because of that.
So you've
And
been there for almost a whole month.
yeah,
Wow, detrimental.
man, I'm dying inside now. So it's like, so what I've had to do was stop that house, and I had to start another job just so I can make money, so I can have something in my pocket because it's been so
Right.
long of, having to do deposit here, deposit there. And it's like, I don't even want to
Right.
take any more money out because there's so little money left in that job. I know I'm going to have to pay my guys off. So I'm like, okay, I prefer to just stop that, let all the tradesmen finish what they have to finish and kind of go back whenever they're done. And that put me in a spot where I had to find a different job. And it's just I dropped the ball on that one this month right here. And so what I'm trying
Okay.
to do is,
Good. And maybe that's what encouraged you to reach out to me. And what I'm going to tell you is this. Okay. I'm going to tell you that all that, like that, you'll never get out of that hamster wheel. You've got to make a change today. Okay.
yeah,
Let me ask you this. Do you have at least $1,000?
yeah, barely,
Okay.
just only.
Just only about $1,000? Okay.
Yeah.
Then that means that you can hire somebody for $20 an hour. You might think to yourself that, what are you paying your guys right now anyway? What do you pay them?
I was
Today?
paying my brother 25 an hour.
Oh, well, there you go. I mean, 25 an hour is what you should be paying that project manager. I know the rates might be a little bit higher in Arkansas, but that's, you have the money. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
And also, do you have a Sherwin-Williams account?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have credit?
Yeah. I'm paying it off. I owe
What's your
him
credit line?
$1,000.
You know what mine is?
What's that?
25,000. And here's the thing. I run that thing up and I pay it off every month.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of credit when it's 0%. It's free money. It's the best deal. What they have done for contractors is outstanding.
Yeah.
So what I would do,
definitely.
what's your credit limit? You said 1,000?
Yeah.
You need to call your rep. Okay. Call them and say you
Okay.
want to increase it to $5,000. Okay. You don't pay for that paint until the end of the month.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that's going to give you that's like me saying, here's $4,000. Okay.
Yeah.
So now essentially you're taking a loan from Sherwin-Williams that's going to sustain you enough. Because guess what? Paint can wait, people can't.
Exactly.
So ultimately, you're going to use that money that you're going to be getting from deposits and the $1,000 you have, and you're going to be using that to make sure that the guy that you hire can be paid. He doesn't need to know you're struggling, bro.
Yeah.
All he needs to know is that you're this very successful contractor from California, and you're starting a very successful contracting business in Arkansas. You have a couple jobs already. That's why it's important to do it now, to hire today, because if you don't hire today or at least put out ads today, guess what? You're going to be in a position where and that's not okay. You need time to get this person in your pipeline, like get this person going. It usually takes about a week and a half. If he's a good person, he's going to want to give his other job a notice.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
don't want somebody like, all right, yeah, I'll start tomorrow. Well, aren't you working? Yeah, it'll be fine, because they're going to do that to you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you got to do it now. And Indeed costs $30 to run a good ad. Craigslist costs $20. Okay. And I think that you should continue buying leads if you can and getting as many estimates out so you could fill your pipeline. Right now, you only need 4 jobs a month to live.
Yeah.
1 a week. That's
Yeah, I just measured. I mean, fingers crossed. I guess we'll see what happens. I'll let you know in the future if I get it. But I just estimated a mansion, so I'm hoping that'll be the whole month of work right there. It's about 104 square feet, and they want
what did
inside
you
and
quote the
outside.
job at?
$44,000.
Yeah. Okay. So you think it's going to be a good one?
I'm gonna have to lower it if I have to. I think I don't. I'm. This is my problem. Is sometimes I get so scared, or I guess I come from like a very scared mentality where if they don't call me back in a week, I'm like, oh man, my guys need to eat, and I don't mind taking a hit.
That's not a
But some,
scared mentality. That's smart. And ultimately, I think that if you identify what your margins are in that job and maybe you priced it out like, priced it out at, let's say, 50%, and you have to go down to 40% to make sure that you have a whole month's worth of work, that's great. I think that once you get a system going, you should avoid those mansions
yeah,
because cash flow is limited and it's very daunting on your team to go back to the same house for an
for
entire
a whole
month,
month. Yeah,
right? It's not worth it. I had an opportunity when I first started, maybe like a year in, where I had this big apartment complex that this lady wanted me to put a bid in, this project manager, okay? And I literally knew because I know my numbers, and that's why I'm so big about this. I know what my sales are every month. I know exactly how much I sell because that's important to me. So I knew that at that time I was averaging around 40 grand a month in sales.
yeah,
Okay. The quote that I put out was $35,000 for this apartment complex that was going to take me about 3.5 weeks. So I thought to myself, okay, I know that I'm averaging about 40,000 in sales, and I had a little bit room to do more with just taking 12 to 15 small houses.
yeah,
Or I could take on this apartment complex for 3.5 weeks. My guys are going to be stressed because it's really high. It's going to be really annoying working around a bunch of people. It's going to be really annoying, with all this stuff. Why would I take that? Even though 35,000 is exciting to get one check for 35,000, I'm generating that with 12 to 15 jobs. I don't need it. And I didn't take it. And I got offered the opportunity. And after some thinking and just doing some numbers, I'm like, why would I put my guys through that? That's stupid. Let them just do their, deal with one customer, get cookies and coffee in the morning at all the jobs we go to. And, we're happy. Does that make sense?
yeah. What I've been doing, what my brother kind of helped me out with. Well, my mom I think taught us this one. My mom taught my brother this one. My brother taught me this one. It's like our 5 finger death punch. We call it. It's we just when it comes down to the pricing and everything, right when we know our numbers, we just do write down the 5 important things. So it's labor, paint, material, gas, and our taxes. How much our taxes is going to be in the end. So we kind of know how much we're paying in taxes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And once we just figure that out, we already know, okay, this is kind of what the numbers are going to be. And then we just add on how much I feel like, how much I know I'm supposed to be making per day or per that week. And I just kind of
Okay.
put it
I
on like
like
that.
the five. That's a pretty cool. The 5 finger death punch. That's neat. You know what? And honestly, if that's what works for you to help you calculate profit margin, and that's what you're doing, I think that you need to get away from how much we're making per day. And I think we
Yeah.
need to get to how much the business is making on the project. I think per day is a laborer's mentality, but I
Yeah.
also believe that the next level to that would be ultimately thinking we need to make more than just our pay. We need to make money for the business.
Yeah.
So actionable advice for you, because I can't really go further without you having a crew, bro. I think you need
Yeah.
to and this is what I'm going to do for you. I'm actually going to copy and paste my ad and I'm going to send it to you so we could
Thank you,
get the
man.
ball rolling. And once we get off of this, I'm actually going to walk you through Indeed. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you Indeed so you can see exactly how to do this.
Thank you
Okay.
so much.
No problem, bro. No problem. And then what we're going to do is I'm just going to walk you through the process. You can start getting applicants today. Okay.
Okay.
But you got to do the things I told you. Number one, you need to extend your Sherwin-Williams account credit.
I'm
Okay. You
coming
need
rep
to
today.
definitely extend that. Call your rep, tell them you want 5 grand or you're going to another paint store.
Okay.
If he gives you hassle, say, hey, the other paint store's offering me a $5,000 credit. And I want to stay with you guys. He'll do it in a heartbeat. And then the second thing is if you have $1,000 right now, keep buying leads. It might seem like this is crazy, but remember, leads bring opportunity. If you get one deposit, you're right back in the ball game. Okay.
Yeah.
Switch the mentality, dude. Remember, you're this great contractor from California. California is way harder to impact than freaking Arkansas. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So don't think that just because, you right now you're looking around and you're drowning in this other job and you have this other job and you're like kind of caving in. This is your livelihood, dude. And you got to get serious about it. And I think that if you have a mentality change about who you are and what you've accomplished, yeah, you're a phenomenal painter, but I think you're a good businessman. And I think that you have a lineage, a family line of people counting on you to be the one that actually has the business with the trucks and has the one with the logo on the side. You know what I'm saying? And what you're doing for your mom is really, really cool that you had to drop everything and go. So let's work on that. So I'm gonna close this out today, man, and I hope you got something out of what we talked about, and we'll jump in after I close this out. All right?
Definitely, man. Thank you so much.
No problem, bro. No problem. Let me get that out. All right. So hey, I just want to take a second to thank you for joining me here on the Contractor Secrets podcast. I'm just going to take this opportunity to let you know that my passion is coaching people, helping people. I've changed my Instagram name to @contractorcoach, and I did that because that is my passion. I want to help you. So please reach out to me. If you have an issue going on in your business, send me an email, find me on Instagram, message me, and let's do a breakthrough session. I want to work through your problems in your business to help you get to that next level. And one thing that I always say is this, the difference between those that get over the humps and the hurdles in business is just a change in perspective. And that's what I plan to offer you. So get with me, message me, allow me to help you take your business to the next level.